Welcome to another Hero Arts video. Today I'm going to be showing you tips and tricks for using colored pencils with stamped images. These are the images that we're going to be using, and I've gone ahead and stamped them with Memories black dye ink on smooth white cardstock. You can use any cardstock for this as long as it's smooth. You don't want it to be rough. And you can also use any ink you want as long as it's dry. If you can even use pigment ink if you wanted to, just make sure it's dry. And I wanted to tell you I recommend against embossing your stamped images because you can be coloring along with your pencil and then all of a sudden you'll run into the embossed part and nick it off, and that doesn't look very good. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the pencils. These are Prismacolor pencils that I'm using today, but any high quality colored pencil will work. You just want to make sure that it has really soft lead. So on the package it'll say something like quality soft thick lead pencils. Okay, to start out I thought I'd do the easiest one first, and that's this apple image. And you're going to need 2 shades of green for this. It doesn't really matter what ones they are, as long as one is a lot lighter than the other one. So here I'm using chartreuse for my light color green and apple green for my more medium, darker color green. And what you're going to do is take your lighter color and go ahead and color in the whole apple using little circles. You just want to keep these circles kind of loose, and you don't need to press very hard. You can kind of get a feel for it as you go. Just little loose circles until the whole thing is shaded in. Then you're going to take your darker green, and starting at an edge, you're going to want to make little tiny circles this time. And this will add the shading. So there's the little circle on that side. And then this one, the same thing. Little light circles. Okay, that looks good. And then to blend the 2 colors together, you go back in with your lighter color and go back over where you put down the first shade. Just like that. And you can keep doing this a couple times until you get it how you like it. Like I think it needs a little darker, more darker here. Like that. And then maybe a little more over here on this side. And then go back over with the light color again. There, I think that looks good. I'll try to hold it up to the camera here so that you can see the shading that it gets. So that's the first image. Okay, for this next apple image, I'm going to be showing you how to use 3 shades of colored pencil on the same image. For this, we're going to be using a really light pink, a medium pink, and a red. And before I get started, I wanted to show you one trick. I usually don't sharpen my colored pencils, but when I do, I go ahead and just kind of scribble on the, scrap paper to blunt the point. Because if you use a really sharp point with your colored pencil, you can make grooves in your paper, and it'll make it really hard to get the shaded look. You'll still see the grooves in there. So once again, we're going to color the whole apple using loose circles with the lightest color first. So here we go, coloring that. That looks good. Then take the medium color, and once again we're going to add the shading to the edges. So going in ahead with loose circles. And this one you can really see the difference between the 2 colors, but we'll be going over that again so you'll be able to see how it changes. And then go ahead and with the darkest color, just put really little circles along the edge. And some on this side too. I think I'm going to color this outline part in red on these two sides as well. And then the outline part on the top and bottom with the medium color. Okay, so that looks really rough. So then what you're going to want to do to smooth it out is take your lightest color again and just make light circles all over where those two colors were, and this way you'll blend them in. So just go right over the red and the darker pink. And then this will kind of fade out the colors that you added before, so the red doesn't exactly look like a red anymore. So then you can go back in with the red and add a little more shading there. And go back in with the medium pink and add a little bit of that back. And you just kind of follow the curves of your shape too, so you know where to put the shading. Now I'm going back in with the lightest pink again. There we go. This is starting to look really good. Maybe just a little more pink in here and a little more pink in here. But you can see you can just keep going back and forth with your colors. Adding color. And a little more red over here, I think. And that looks good. And then to do the leaf, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the first apple. Start with the light green and color in your whole leaf. And then take your medium green and add your shading. And then go back over it again with the light color. So there's this one. I'll hold this one up so that you can see it. Okay, this brings us to our last image for today, and that's this little raccoon. I just love him. He always looks so mischievous. And for the sake of time, I went ahead and colored the body and the tail with 2 shades of gray, just how I showed you before. And then I used the same 2 pinks to color the ears and the nose. And then I went ahead and colored the mask with black. I wanted to leave the area around the eyes open so that you would be able to see the eyes, since they're stamped with black ink. If you use black colored pencil right next to them, they would just kind of all blend together and you wouldn't see the eyes. So this brings us to the last part of finishing up this image, and that's using a white colored pencil to blend things. This is just a plain white colored pencil, and I'll show you how it's done. The first thing you want to do when using a white colored pencil is just kind of scribble it off in case there was some pigment on there from the last time that you used it. In my case, it had a little bit of red and a little bit of gray. So now what we're going to do is use the white pencil to blend the parts that are left on here that are white. So you just go and make the same little circles how you did before. And see how this edge is now softened, whereas this edge was kind of still hard. And I'm going to go ahead and do this side. And then the tail, blend those. So that's looking good. Blend the arms a little bit. And that looks good. And now I'm going to kind of turn it so you'll still be able to see the mask when I'm doing this. So this was colored with the black, and then watch what happens when you go over that with the white. It just really softens it and blends everything together. Just like that. And I'll go ahead and go on here and do the little hair part too. So there you have it, the last stamped image. Thanks for watching, and hope you try colored pencils soon.